Look at the stars. Whenever you feel alone, the great kings of the past will always be up there to guide you. And so will I.
What's going on, everybody? I'm here today with a very, very special guest. This is someone that I personally became a huge fan of in his most recent work for Disney's Mufasa, The Lion King. He made his movie debut in February of 2018 in Lifetime's Faith Under Fire with Tony Braxton. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Braelyn Rankins.
Hello, hi everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So my first question for you is based around your role as young Mufasa in Disney's Mufasa, The Lion King. And that question is, what was the process like when you were auditioning for this role?
Yeah, so I first got the audition in 2020 and it was still during like the quarantine and everything. So I just kind of did it from home and I wasn't really expecting a lot. I didn't know who I was auditioning for because I knew it was for Lion King, but like it was all under fake names because they were keeping it really under wraps. So I just did the audition and I wasn't expecting much. And then I think like a year later, they asked me to audition again. So I sent in another one and then I found out I booked it a couple months later.
Oh, that must have been awesome. Do you remember like the feeling you had when you found out that you got the part?
I think when I first found out, I was just really shocked. Um, just because when I found out who it was for, like, I think my agent and my manager told me that I would be playing young Mufasa, and I wasn't expecting that at all because, like I said, it was under a fake name. So I thought it would be for like, like a smaller part or kind of like a, you know, just someone who was in there for a quick moment. So to find out that it was young Mufasa was really cool.
Yeah, that was been awesome. Now I know this happened on TMZ, but I know there was a clip that dropped that I ended up seeing that you didn't know who the full cast was until the trailer released. Do you want to just
Mhm.
talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I knew I had my ideas, but I mean, the people that I shared scenes with, I knew they would be a part of it. I knew Aaron and Kelvin were going to be in it, and I think that's pretty much it. Like it was just the people that I were either sharing a scene with, or Aaron and Kelvin, and everyone else. I found out they were part of the film with everyone else when I think the teaser trailer dropped early last year.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I heard Theo talk about meeting Beyonce at the red carpet premiere. For you, like, what was that like, the red carpet premiere and meeting everybody that was, in the movie?
The red carpet was so much fun. That was my first red carpet premiere, so it was a really new experience for me. But I was looking forward to it for such a long time. And when we first got there, we saw everyone dressed up in like their Lion King outfits, and seeing the cast again was really cool because I had met some of them in person at D23 a couple months earlier, and then seeing Beyonce and Blue Ivy was just like the icing on the cake. But she's so sweet, and it was really nice seeing her in person.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. Have you personally seen the entire movie?
I have. I've seen it a couple times. I think three times. I saw it at the premiere. I saw it at like a screening, and then I watched it with some of my friends and family the day it released.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Is it weird to like hear yourself in the movie and just know that, I mean, currently Mufasa is the number one movie in the world, and I'm pretty sure I Always Wanted a Brother is the film's like current most played song.
I know that's insane. I think hearing my voice, I've learned to kind of get used to it now, but this is like one of my first main voiceover roles. So whenever I see the character and hear myself talk, like I'm just hearing myself talk. I know that sounds kind of confusing, but like for other people, it may be like they actually see the character, but it's kind of hard to differentiate like the character since my voice is behind it. But I think it's really cool, and I'm really proud of how it all came out.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should be 100%. I mean, for those who don't know, I Always Wanted a Brother is a top 10 song in America currently. The tune shot from number 10 to number 4 this week on the TikTok Billboard Top 50, which is ranking it as the most popular track currently on TikTok. And my question for you was, what was it like recording the song?
Oh my goodness, recording the song. We recorded the song after we shot like all of the lines and everything. So say I want to say I recorded all of my lines in 2021, and then May of 2022 is when we recorded the song. And that's when I found out that like Lin-Manuel Miranda would be doing the music. I think Barry Jenkins had like called me on a Zoom, and then he was just like, just so you know, like Lin-Manuel Miranda is working on the music, and you're going to be going to New York. And it was like a really quick process. So we went to New York, we met up with him, and we shot the song, and it was really fun. It was really catchy from the first moment that we heard it. So keeping it a secret for like 2 years and not being able to sing it in public or anything was a challenge. But I don't know, I just love it, and I have such a connection to it.
Yeah, I mean, of course. Speaking of Lin-Manuel Miranda, what was that like meeting him?
That was so cool. My sister's a huge Hamilton fan, like the biggest Hamilton fan you'll meet. So I had already known, about him, of course. And I think Encanto came out like shortly before. So We Don't Talk About Bruno was like the hottest song. So we had all
Yeah,
known him, and we were all really excited to meet him. And he's really cool. He's really nice. And yeah, it was just such a fun experience. We had the vocal coach, Kurt Crowley, who also helped, kind of loosen up my voice because my voice was changing so much throughout the entire process. So I think both of them being in the studio with me while I was recording just kind of loosened me up and helped me get really more comfortable singing the song.
yeah. And speaking about the voice changes, I know there was something going around. I don't know if you posted a TikTok clarifying it, but was there something that your sister ended up doing some lines for you or something like that?
Yeah, so you know, this year, well, not this year, but last year, actually, I want to say like July of last year, they had asked me to come in to kind of like just add a few lines, but my voice was, obviously so much different than it was when I was 14. So I was like, I can't, I don't really know how I can do this. So I was just talking to my sister because we're really close. And
Mhm.
I was just like, how do you think I should say this line? And she did it, and she sounded just like the audition tape. Because when they, asked me to come back in, they sent like my audition tape for reference. So when she was doing the line, she just sounded just like my audition tape. So I was like, wait, why don't you just, you should do the pickup lines instead. So I think we kind of pitched the idea to my agent, who sent the clip over to the production. And then, yeah, they said it matched up pretty well. So we went in the studio, and I was able to like be in the studio with her while she was doing the lines. And that was my first time seeing some of the movie. Because when I was recording, they had like very rough drafts of the movie. It was like, I think you can see like the animatics on YouTube or something, but that's what I was seeing in the studio, like very rough pencil drawings. And I think they had one scene finished throughout the whole movie. So they showed me that. And but yeah, so by the time that, last year that Brielle was able to go in and do her lines, that's when I was able to actually see some of the scenes, which is so cool. It was so much fun, and everyone was so excited about it.
Yeah. Do you personally have like a favorite scene in the movie?
I think my favorite scene in the movie would have to be, I really liked the whole like final fight scene when it shows how Scar got his scar.
Hmm.
You know, I don't know. I just like that. I really like the scoring of the whole thing, and
Yeah.
it's how it played out. So that would have to be mine. Do you
Yeah.
do you have what was yours?
I 100% my favorite scene was the We Go Together scene. That was such a
That was a good
sick
scene. Yeah.
scene where you have Mufasa telling Sarabi to close your eyes, like picture what you see, and then Sarabi saying like he's right, let's go down. Then that whole song, that personally for me, I think We Go Together has to be my favorite song. Is just so perfect. I love how that's basically where you start to see that love triangle forming, where you see
Mhm.
Taka super, super obsessed with Sarabi, and then, obviously Mufasa and Sarabi having that duet portion where it just kind of shows the deeper bond over there, which I personally loved. Obviously,
Yeah.
my second favorite song is I Always Wanted a Brother. That is just, I mean, that whole musical scene was perfect. Um, Personally, I want to say to you, you completely killed the scene um, where, we went from seeing how young Mufasa was thinking about missing his mother, still being happy that, he finally found that new family to take care of him, and then transitioning to see, Aaron and Kelvin, like,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Thank
That
you.
was perfect.
Thank you so much.
Of course, if you personally had any critiques for the movie, like, what would they be?
Any critiques for the movie? I think well, not really necessarily a critique, but I know beforehand there was like the whole flood sequence was a lot more extended. I know, obviously have to cut certain scenes just so it can fit a certain runtime. So hopefully, like, I don't know, hopefully we could see the full thing, because I know it was much more like dramatic and just extended in general. So I would like to see, the full scene of that play out and see everything we recorded.
Yes, awesome. Do you personally have a favorite song on the entire track list?
So when I saw the movie for the first time, my favorite song was Bye Bye. But now I think my favorite song is probably Malele. I really like that song. I think Keith and Nika did a really, really, good job. Just the vocals and the production and even the like background choir on it. I just really liked. And even the scene in the movie, like that whole sequence, I just really liked. So that would have to be my favorite as of now.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I have another question that I think you may enjoy, but out of every single person in the movie, every character, it could be any single character in Mufasa, which character do you think represents you personally best?
Represents me personally the best. I guess I would have to say, I don't know. That's a hard one. I really liked Rafiki. Like seeing Rafiki, he's just kind of a wild card. I think I can be like that at certain times. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess I'd have to say Rafiki.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, me personally, I'm probably gonna go with, young Taka. I think that a lot of those, characteristics kind of just come out inside of me,
Yeah,
and I mean, it's fine. But I couldn't have said any of this better myself. So first of all, thank you so much for your time here today.
of course.
Everybody, Disney's Mufasa Lion King is out now in theaters. Be sure to go see it and listen to the soundtrack for Mufasa, out now on all music platforms by the wonderful Lin-Manuel Miranda. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.